Hello, I've got for you today something special. Every few years Montblanc brings out a pen called the Masters of Meisterstück, or the Great Masters series. I think every 3 years. This is their 6th pen. A pen done in collaboration with Ferrari. Let's see if I can get this out. So, the spirit of this collection is in showcasing the craftsmanship of the company that they collaborate with. I think the first year what they did was a collaboration with a porcelain company. The second year they collaborated with a knife making company, and actually that's where this pen comes from. This is the Montblanc, a beautiful pen, my favorite pen, done in collaboration with knife makers from France. A beautiful idea, definitely the epitome of a classical, beautiful pen. After that they did a few pens with leather sheeting. So essentially, the pen is a 146. This is the 4th year where they did a partnership with the gun makers Purdy and Sons. So essentially, it's a 146 shape with all the fittings converted to metal fittings and a sheathing basically over the pen. So quite a nice series, I think, because their shape, and that's how they break. Their shape is quite standard, and obviously this way you have a wonderful collection that grows. So this year they collaborated with Ferrari. I would consider that a very strange partnership, because Ferrari, while being a wonderful car company and of course a very well-known brand, it doesn't feel like the same type of company that makes knives or guns. They're not known specifically for a particular craft. Obviously a lot of crafts go into making a car, everything from metalworking to paint to leather work. And so it came as a bit surprise to me that they collaborated with Ferrari, but I guess the one before this was Pirelli. So they collaborated once with a tire manufacturer. These boxes are not collaborating today. So once again, like the previous Ferrari items, it comes with a mark of authenticity. And box made in China, that's the first. So I'm quite happy to have this particular pen. I was on the fence a little bit because there are some elements of it that are quite irregular for Montblanc, but we'll get into that in a minute. So along with the box, you've got a standard user guide with the elements. There's the pen, descriptions. This, I've not read this. Have a quick look. Reads a bit like a sales pitch for their service. Yeah. Their tailor-made service. But I guess it's normal for these pens to come with a bit of details of the partners. So I guess unlike the other Masters of Meisterstück, where the content very much picks up on current products. So with the Purdy and Sons and with the Montblanc, you could pick up knives or guns that are still made in that fashion. This pen obviously pulls a lot from their 1950s and 1960s approach to car building. and specifically their steering wheel. So that'll be very apparent in a moment. The pen is, well, as you've seen from the manual, is made out of mahogany. It is a wonderful addition, I'd say, next to the other two pens. Ooh. So shiny, so smooth. That's very uncharacteristic for the wood that they have. But they've coated this with quite a large number of lacquer layers. So once again, a 1/4/6 shape, size, and nib, as well as filling capacity. The mahogany obviously echoes the wood that they used for their steering wheel. You've got a beautiful prancing horse there. When I saw that originally, I wondered if it was an inlay. It's not an inlay, it's something laid over the surface. Slightly, you can see, the camera's not really picking it up. You can see that it's slightly elevated above the surface of the wood. So what they've done is they've applied quite a few different lacquer layers. Actually, this feels kind of like enamel. It doesn't feel as lacquered as it feels more enameled. But they wouldn't enamel wood, that wouldn't make any sense. So let's just go with lacquer. So they've lacquered a few layers, then applied a beautiful prancing horse with quite nice detail, actually. Stamped out of hopefully a little bit of platinum and not sort of a plastic sticker, and then several layers of lacquer on top of that. With this black stripe, that's obviously designed to mimic the steering wheel of their GTO, which had the same type of characteristic black line going around it. This is also a lacquered part. At one moment they said inlaid, but it feels just like a lacquer strip. Can you tell if it's inlaid? For it to be inlaid, there'd be sort of imperfections at the boundaries, but it does seem to be an overlay. And then to continue the parallel with the steering wheel, they've got the chrome finish. This is not chrome, this is platinum, but it is meant to be as lustrous as the chrome finish on the steering wheel. And then a how would you call that? That's not guilloché, it's a checkered pattern. Ooh, the sticker has left a bit of a blemish. Not a checkered pattern, not a guilloché, but a sort of waved pattern designed to resemble the pattern inscribed on the steering wheel spokes. So I guess the reason, let's get to it, the reason that I wasn't particularly thrilled about this particular pen is the Modena yellow emblem. It's definitely not keeping with the standard tradition of having a mother of pearl Montblanc emblem, which I would have definitely preferred, but I guess fits with what they want to pay homage to, because that's sort of the color they had on the GTO dashboard, and of course their characteristic yellow. So I don't know, I'm sure it'll grow on me. It's the first colored Montblanc emblem I have in my collection, I think. Now for the nib, these come as standard in their usual nib sizes. A beautiful pairing of Montblanc's emblem in a, well, I guess the same type of pattern that you find on the section and the cone and the finial surround. So it is, as usual, 18 karat rhodium coated nib. Comes in all their usual sizes, and will obviously be flawless. Never have problems with these nibs. And actually, let's test the piston. These pistons sometimes have a bit of a hard time starting the first time. Not exactly seizing, but just spreading the lubricant through the piston. Very smooth, very nice. I definitely don't like handling this with gloves. It feels very artificial, but we're gonna keep this very clean, I think, this way. So anything else? Oh yes. The other reason that I got this pen is that because it is pulling so much from the steering wheel, it goes on, or it pairs quite nicely with their, matches up. It pairs quite nicely with their previous, or I should say their first collaboration with Ferrari, which was their Great Characters edition dedicated to Enzo Ferrari, where they have on the nib the steering wheel. So that's kind of a nice little way of bringing some continuity into the collection. So now I've got a pen dedicated to the engine, the car, and now a pen dedicated to the steering wheel. The simple things in life. So there you have it. The 2025 release for their Meisterstück Great Masters of Meisterstück, however you want to call it, dedicated, or I should say, done in collaboration with Ferrari. Let me know if you've got questions or comments.